In the heart of Mumbai, where the city's opulence masks its darker truths, lives Arjun Malhotra, a man whose empire spans the realms of both business and the underworld. Ruthless and commanding, he is a force that neither the law nor emotions can tame. A sleek, modern office in Mumbai. The camera pans over luxurious furnishings, finally resting on Arjun Malhotra, a 28-year-old mafia boss and business tycoon. He sits behind a grand desk, his expression cold and unyielding. On the other side of the city's divide, Pihu Mehra leads a life of sincerity and ambition. A dedicated medical student, her world is a far cry from the shadowy dealings of men like Arjun Malhotra. But fate, as always, has its plans. Mr. Mehra, sounding worried, Pihu, we need to talk. Pihu, looking up, what's wrong, Dad? Mr. Mehra, it's about the debt, the one we owe to Arjun Malhotra. Pihu, frowning, what about it? Mr. Mehra, hesitant, I couldn't come up with the money. He's demanding repayment. Pihu's expression shifts from confusion to concern. Pihu, what are we going to do? Mr. Mehra, sighing, I don't know. He's not the kind of man you can easily negotiate with. In the world Arjun commands, there are no easy compromises. His word is law, and his patience is as thin as his tolerance for failure. Arjun, into the phone, make sure Mr. Mehra understands that the time for talks has passed. He either pays up, or, well, I'm sure he can guess what comes next. Mr. Mehra looks defeated. Pihu, determined, there must be something we can do. I'll find a way to help. Mr. Mehra, shaking his head, it's too late for that. Arjun Malhotra doesn't give second chances. At a lavish banquet hall, Arjun is seen hosting a high-profile event, mingling with influential guests. He is approached by a confident business associate. Business associate, I heard about your issue with Mehra. What's the plan? Arjun, smirking, I think it's time to make an example. His debt will be paid, one way or another. The tension is palpable as Pihu receives a message on her phone. Pihu, reading the message, Dad, I think I know what we have to do. Mr. Mehra, confused and fearful, what are you talking about? Pihu, resolutely, we have to meet him. There has to be another way to resolve this. Pihu arrives at a dark, imposing mansion, her face a mix of determination and trepidation. She is greeted by Arjun's intimidating aide. Aide, coldly, follow me. Pihu is led into a grand, opulent room where Arjun awaits, his presence commanding and unyielding. Arjun, calmly, Miss Mehra. I see you've decided to visit. Let's not waste any time. I trust you understand the gravity of your father's situation. Pihu, nervously, I'm here to find a solution. Please, there must be another way. Arjun, leaning back in his chair, I'm all ears. But know this, when you're in my world, solutions come at a price. As the scales of fate tip precariously, Pihu finds herself on the brink of a decision that will forever alter her life. In the labyrinth of power and debt, the price may be steeper than she ever imagined. And so begins a journey where love and duty intertwine, and every choice echoes through the corridors of destiny. In the realm where power dictates the rules, Arjun Malhotra is a master of fate. The price of one's debt is rarely what it seems, and Pihu Mehra is about to learn just how costly her father's failure can be. The grand room of Arjun Malhotra's mansion. The atmosphere is tense as Pihu stands before Arjun, her heart racing. Arjun's imposing presence fills the room. Arjun, leaning back with a cold smile, you've come to negotiate. Tell me, Miss Mehra, what do you have to offer? Pihu, nervously, I don't have much to offer, but I want to find a way to settle this. There must be another solution. Arjun's eyes narrow as he studies Pihu, assessing her sincerity and desperation. Arjun, casually, you are aware that my patience has limits. Your father's debt is substantial. I'm curious, what exactly do you have in mind? Pihu hesitates, her thoughts racing. The weight of the situation presses down on her, making her feel trapped. Pihu, taking a deep breath, I'm willing to do whatever it takes. Please, just give me a chance to make things right. Arjun's smirk widens, his gaze lingering on Pihu's earnest face. He stands up and walks towards her, his presence both alluring and intimidating. Arjun, with a hint of amusement, very well. I'll give you a chance. But be warned, my terms are not easily met. In the world of power and dominance, promises are seldom made without strings attached. Arjun's offer is shrouded in mystery, and the true cost is yet to be revealed. Pihu arrives back home, visibly shaken. Her father is anxiously waiting for her. Mr. Mehra, worried, how did it go? What did he say? Pihu, trying to stay composed, he agreed to give us a chance, but the terms are uncertain. I'm afraid we are not out of trouble yet. Mr. Mehra, sighing, what did he ask for? Pihu, hesitating, I don't know the full details yet. He wants to meet with me again tomorrow. The corridors of Arjun Malhotra's mansion are filled with secrets and shadows. Each step Pihu takes is a step further into a world she barely understands. Arjun is seated behind his desk, his demeanor as cold and commanding as ever. He gestures for Pihu to take a seat. Arjun, with a businesslike tone, I trust you've had time to reflect on our situation. Let's discuss the details. Pihu, sitting down, yes. I'm ready to hear what you propose. Arjun, leaning forward, you see, Miss Mehra, my world operates on different rules. Your father's debt can't simply be erased with money or empty promises. I need something more personal. Pihu, nervously, more personal? Arjun, nodding, precisely. I require a arrangement. One that involves you. In the delicate balance of power, personal stakes are often the most dangerous. Pihu is about to face a choice that will challenge her sense of self and her understanding of sacrifice. Pihu, swallowing hard, what kind of arrangement are you talking about? Arjun, with a dark, calculating smile, you'll become my wife. This arrangement will ensure that your father's debt is settled and provide me with certain advantages. Pihu's eyes widen in shock and disbelief. The room feels like it's closing in on her. Pihu, stammering, you can't be serious. This isn't just about money anymore, it's about my entire life. Arjun, calmly, indeed. This is the price for your father's mistake. You can refuse, of course, but know that refusal will have its own consequences. The choice before Pihu is agonizingly clear. Accept the life-altering terms of Arjun Malhotra or face the harsh reality of his retribution. Her decision will shape her destiny in ways she can barely imagine. Pihu looks down, her mind racing. The weight of the decision is overwhelming, and she feels trapped between her loyalty to her father and her own future. Pihu, quietly, I need time to think. Arjun, nodding, take all the time you need. But remember, time is not a luxury you can afford indefinitely. As Pihu grapples with the monumental decision before her, Arjun's world of power and control looms ever closer. The choices she makes will define not just her future, but the intricate web of fate that binds her to a man she barely knows. Pihu leaves the mansion, her face a mask of worry and determination. The camera lingers on Arjun, who watches her leave with a contemplative expression. In the game of power and passion, every choice is a step towards a destiny that can never be undone. As Pihu stands on the precipice of her future, the echoes of her decision will reverberate through the corridors of her life. As Pihu Mehra grapples with the unimaginable offer from Arjun Malhotra, the reality of her situation becomes ever more daunting. In the high-stakes world of power and debt, decisions are not just choices, they are destinies sealed in the harshest of terms. Pihu's modest home. The camera shows her pacing nervously in her room, her face etched with worry. Her father sits in the living room, staring at a pile of unpaid bills, the weight of their predicament evident. Pihu's walking out of her room, Dad, we need to talk. Mr. Mehra, looking up, worried, what is it, Pihu? Have you made a decision? Pihu, sitting down, I have to take the offer. It's the only way to settle the debt and save us from complete ruin. Mr. Mehra, shocked, are you sure? This is a huge sacrifice. Pihu, with resolve, I know. But we don't have any other options. Arjun Malhotra's terms are clear, and I can't risk everything falling apart. The gravity of Pihu's choice weighs heavily on both her and her father. In the world where Arjun Malhotra reigns, the consequences of refusal are far from lenient. The opulence of Arjun's mansion is a stark contrast to Pihu's humble existence. As she steps back into his world, the line between duty and desire becomes increasingly blurred. Arjun is seated behind his desk, his demeanor as composed and commanding as ever. He looks up as Pihu enters. Arjun, with a smirk, Miss Mehra. I see you've made up your mind. Pihu, nodding, yes. I've decided to accept your offer. I'll marry you. Arjun, leaning forward, excellent choice. We'll finalize the details shortly. As Pihu submits to the terms laid before her, Arjun's calculated gaze reveals a man accustomed to getting what he wants, regardless of the cost. Arjun stands up and walks around the desk, his presence both imposing and magnetic. Arjun, with a hint of satisfaction, there are a few formalities we need to address before the marriage. But before that, let me show you something. Arjun leads Pihu through the mansion, showing her luxurious rooms and the grandeur of his world. Pihu's awe is mixed with apprehension. Pihu, looking around, this is all overwhelming. Arjun, smirking, it's the world you'll be a part of soon. You'll need to get used to it. The opulence of Arjun's world is as daunting as it is alluring. For Pihu, each step further into this realm is a step further from the life she once knew. Arjun takes out a document and places it in front of her. Arjun, pointing to the document, this is the marriage contract. It outlines our arrangement and the responsibilities involved. Pihu, glancing at the document, I see. And what about my family? What will happen to them? Arjun, calmly, your family will be safe as long as you fulfill your part of the agreement. The debt will be considered settled upon our marriage. The terms are clear, but the price of Pihu's compliance is far more personal than any legal document can convey. Pihu signs the document, her face a mask of resignation. Arjun watches her with a satisfied expression. Arjun, smiling, welcome to your new life, Pihu. Prepare yourself for the changes that lie ahead. As the ink dries on the contract, Pihu's path is irrevocably altered. The journey ahead promises to be fraught with challenges and revelations as she steps into a world where control and desire intertwine. Pihu returns home, her father anxiously waiting. Mr. Mehra, concerned, how did it go? Pihu, with a heavy heart, it's done. The wedding is set. Mr. Mehra, embracing her, I'm so sorry, Pihu. I never wanted this for you. Pihu, pulling away, trying to stay strong, it's not your fault, Dad. I'm doing this for us, to make sure we are okay. As Pihu's father holds her close, the weight of her decision settles over them both. In a world where love and duty collide, the coming days will test Pihu's resolve and reveal the true nature of the sacrifice she has made. The path of sacrifice is rarely smooth. As Pihu prepares to step into a new chapter, the shadows of her choices loom large. The story of her life with Arjun Malhotra is only just beginning, and its complexities are far from over. As the shadows of the evening lengthen, Pihu Mehra prepares to leave behind the life she once knew. The promise of a new beginning is overshadowed by the weight of an unspoken farewell. Pihu's home, the evening before the wedding. The atmosphere is heavy with a mixture of anxiety and resignation. Pihu is seen in her room, packing a few belongings. Her father watches from the doorway, his face filled with sadness. Mr. Mehra, softly, are you sure about this, Pihu? Is there no other way? Pihu, sighing, we've been through this, Dad. This is the only option we have left. Mr. Mehra, voice trembling, I wish things could have been different. I never wanted this for you. Pihu, trying to stay strong, I know. But right now, this is what I have to do. For both of us. In the quiet moments before dawn, the enormity of Pihu's decision weighs heavily on her. The path she walks is one of sacrifice, driven by love and duty. The opulence of Arjun Malhotra's world is both mesmerizing and alien. Each step Pihu takes further into his domain is a step further from her past. Pihu arrives with her belongings, looking both odd and apprehensive. She is greeted by Arjun's aide, who leads her to her new quarters. Pihu enters a luxurious bedroom, her new living quarters. The room is elegantly decorated, but Pihu's face reflects a mixture of awe and discomfort. Gesturing around, this will be your room. If you need anything, just let us know. Pihu, nodding, thank you. The grandeur of the room contrasts sharply with the turmoil within Pihu. As she takes in her surroundings, she is confronted by the stark reality of her new life. Arjun is seated at the table, reviewing documents. He looks up as Pihu enters, his expression a mixture of authority and curiosity. Arjun, gesturing to a seat, please, join me. We need to discuss a few more details before tomorrow. Pihu, sitting down, visibly nervous, all right. Arjun, leaning forward, there are a few things you need to understand about our arrangement. This isn't just a formality, it's a business partnership with personal implications. The terms of the contract extend beyond mere legalities. In Arjun Malhotra's world, personal boundaries blur with business interests. Pihu, trying to stay composed, what do you mean by personal implications? Arjun, smiling, our marriage will require certain adjustments. You'll need to familiarize yourself with my world and your role within it. As Arjun outlines the expectations of their marriage, Pihu is faced with the reality of her new life, a life where every action is scrutinized and every decision carries weight. Arjun hands Pihu a folder containing details about her new responsibilities, including social events and public appearances. Pihu flips through it, her expression growing more apprehensive. Arjun, with a hint of amusement, this will be your new routine. I trust you'll adapt quickly. Pihu, looking up, I'll do my best. The transition into Arjun's world is more than a mere change of address. It's a shift into a high-stakes environment where every move is calculated and every interaction is loaded with significance. The day of the wedding dawns with the promise of a new beginning, but for Pihu, it is a day steeped in uncertainty and sacrifice. Pihu is seen in a bridal suite, surrounded by stylists and assistants. The camera captures her tense and anxious demeanor as she prepares for the ceremony. Arjun arrives at the venue, dressed impeccably in a sharp suit. His presence is commanding, and he surveys the preparations with a critical eye. Arjun, to his aide, make sure everything is perfect. This day must proceed flawlessly. Aide, nodding, understood. For Arjun Malhotra, the wedding is a meticulously orchestrated event, a display of power and prestige. For Pihu, it is the final step into a world where control and consequence reign supreme. The wedding ceremony. Pihu walks down the aisle, her face a mask of determination and resignation. Arjun waits at the altar, his expression a blend of anticipation and authority. As Pihu approaches the altar, the weight of her decision becomes palpable. Each step she takes is a step into a new chapter, one defined by the intricacies of power and sacrifice. The ceremony proceeds, with Pihu and Arjun exchanging vows. The camera captures the solemnity and grandeur of the moment, emphasizing the dramatic and emotional weight of the occasion. In the union of Arjun Malhotra and Pihu Mehra, the convergence of two worlds is complete. Their marriage marks the beginning of a journey that will test their limits and redefine their understanding of love and duty. The reception following the wedding. Guests mingle and celebrate, while Pihu and Arjun share their first dance as a married couple. The camera focuses on their interactions, highlighting the complexity of their new relationship. As the night unfolds, the true nature of their marriage begins to reveal itself. In the dance of power and passion, each movement is a reflection of the intricate dance that lies ahead.